As I research more about this event and her, I've come across disturbing revelations of her Catboy Ranch. Fundamentally, you should not be going about your own medical care circumventing medical professionals. That is a crazy thing to do. So we've got proof now, 100% from her own mouth, that she's lied. I think that this is going to be an extremely tough and pressing time for Keffals. Why do you think that is, Arif Hassan? Oh god, this guy's so fucking stupid. Who is this guy? Fucking liar. She's a fucking liar, and this is total cope.
I think what he's trying to do is like the lives of TikTok thing.
Well, he's trying to be a stochastic terrorist?
I think that's honestly it, yeah.
I don't care. If that makes me transphobic, then I'm transphobic. I literally do not give two fucks. Milking this Vaush stuff as much as I can, unashamedly. Okay, people are watching. As long as people are watching, I'm going to keep milking it. All right. It's piqued my interest. Okay, been horsing around with this stuff. Anyway, so one thing that's happened off the back of the Vaush stuff is Vaush has obviously, you know, stopped engaging with it, and I don't even know if he's streamed. I think he's like doing a prepared response or something like that. Okay. However, there are two people that have come to the forefront in order to defend Vaush, okay? And those two people are Keffals and Tipster. Now, we watched Tipster's stream yesterday, which was absolutely atrocious, and he presented things in a way to kind of try and make himself look better, but misrepresented substantive facts of past drama, and, you know, it was kind of a soft walk back, you know, but he still kind of held his position, really. So again, I just think Tipster's kind of this bumbling buffoon retard, just kind of bungling his way into new controversy. Like, he doesn't really have a good sense of what's going on to know what the best move is. He kind of just bumbles into everything, right? So anyway, things developed yesterday. So I had thought, because obviously the main beef is between like Vaush and H3 is kind of going after Keffals because Keffals has tried to do a hit piece on H3, which we watched yesterday. And as part of that, one of the kind of points of contention or discussion became about Chris from Mr. Beast. Okay. So Chris from Mr. Beast had a controversy years ago wherein they were knocking about with Shadman and they were supporting Shadman's art, despite the fact that Shadman was drawing like weird lolicon shit. So, you know, it was, and also they'd drawn this image of Keemstar's like daughter in a sexualized fashion, which was like considered disgusting by a lot of people at the time. Apparently some people thought it was funny, which is kind of fucked to me. You know, it's insane, but apparently also a lot of people found it disgusting. Anyway, so that was the whole thing. And as part of the response that Keffals made, and part of the hit piece that Keffals made against H3, was pointing out that Ethan Klein hadn't really spent much time talking about or looking into the Chris from Mr. Beast allegation when it had been brought up by Keemstar. And in response to that, when H3 covered it, I thought they were a bit kind of soft on it and they didn't really go into much detail and they kind of just moved forward and didn't spend substantive time looking into it, right? Following that, Nicholas Di Oreo did a stream on the Tipster stream. Okay. And Keffals was apparently in chat and even gave some money to Nicholas. And apparently in chat was like, you know, saying that Tipster was wrong to defend this Chris from Mr. Beast person, essentially, to put it very simply, right? And so I think the perception was that you were going to see a backstabbing. And they've done this before. Keffals and Tipster are very gay, and they've done fake drama before where they've acted like they're going to split and not be friends anymore in order to kind of bait the commentary community people, right? And I think there was like an unfollowing that happened on Twitter, and the commentary guys were getting excited about it and posting about it. And I said yesterday, you know, it seems like there might be a split coming. But anyway, Keffals had a stream planned, and the stream was titled H3 fans turn against them. And there was a post on the H3 subreddit which was being critical of Ethan for not looking into the Chris from Mr. Beast drama more. And my perception or my guess was that Keffals was going to go live and point to that and try and use the Chris from Mr. Beast thing as an attack vector against H3. That was my prediction of what was going to happen. Now, however, fate took a different path. Because Mutahar, seemingly out of nowhere, tweeted the following out, which I think took a lot of people by surprise. Over 2 years ago, an infamous creator known as Keffals launched a viral campaign on the internet. As I research more about this event and her, I've come across disturbing revelations of her Catboy Ranch. Ooh! Can't go too into detail, but it's an insane story and none of it is pleasant. I planned to cover this sooner, but in the last few weeks, I've had time to truly put towards projects, and this was on the top. If anyone wants to come forward with more information on the now deleted information, please contact me via DMs. So you're probably wondering, what is Catboy Ranch? Now, Catboy Ranch, it was a Discord server that Keffals had. And the point of it was to get like essentially to get twinks in, and there was like this they would have like engraved collar. What's it called? Like, you know, a cat has a bell. A cat has a bell on it. You know, the little dog dog tag, not a dog tag, but you know what I mean. Like a collar with an engraved thing. I don't fucking know. Listen, it's all on Kiwi Farms, okay? It's an extensive amount of information to dig through. The basic premise is that it's Catboy Ranch, and they were trying to get like young twinks into the server to create this ranch of catboys, and they were turning them into catboys, and it was all weird sexualized conversation and stuff like that, okay? Right? So that was the controversy, and on Kiwi Farms, they posted a lot of information about it, and allegations were made that there were like underage people that were on there, and there was flirting that was happening between, you know, people that were overage and people that were underage, right? That's the base allegation that was made. And if you want to go and dig into it and have a look, by all means, you know, go and have a look at that on Kiwi Farms. So that's Catboy Ranch. Now, alongside that, and this is something you might remember when Destiny covered Keffals and did the manifesto. I covered it, and I think there's a video on my channel talking about this part. But there was another aspect to it where Keffals was promoting this kind of Wikipedia or this website that promoted the idea of DIY HRT. DIY HRT, do-it-yourself hormone replacement therapy, is essentially a service or a system or information where people who want to transition can get information on how to do that circumvents medical professionals and authorities. So for me, okay, say it, Kiwi Farms was right. Why are you saying that to me? I've covered this before, and the Catboy Ranch stuff I'm not 100% on. I've not looked in that in any significant detail, but there's definitely some troubling, weird stuff that's, you know, worthy of some consideration. Let's put it that way. But the HRT stuff is pretty substantively demonstrated that Keffals was promoting this site that directed people on how to circumvent medical authorities in order to conduct transition. And it was kind of a mix, and there was some of it was promoting like pharmaceutical product, how to get hold of like actual pharmaceutical products to transition. And then other parts of it, it was like either homebrew hormone replacement therapy that was being promoted. And there's one image that floats about, and it's basically like it shows you that there's a vial of presumably HRT drugs, and it's got like a hair in it. And the person is asking, like, is this normal that I've got this like thing in there? And people are like, what the hell? That's a hair. Why have you got hair in it? And then the worst thing of all is there were guides and instructions on some parts of this kind of website and this guide that told you how to brew your own hormone replacement therapy. So, yeah. pretty fucked up stuff. Pretty rough stuff. So I'm not sure if Mutahar is just focusing on the Catboy Ranch aspect, but my guess would be that he probably has got wind about the DIY HRT stuff. And I'd presume that, like, if he was to make a video, he'd probably be quite critical of that. Because, I mean, it's insane, isn't it? You know? And the argument they make is like, well, but medical doctors, you know, it's not easy, and they don't necessarily want to give you the medicine, they don't want to let you transition. It's like, of course, there are potentially problems and stuff that you can think about, but like, fundamentally, you should not be going about your own medical care circumventing medical professionals. That is a crazy thing to do. And people, it's not only that people are wanting to do this, okay? On top of that as well, people are pushing it and promoting it. Like adults. Adults are pushing and promoting this. You know, stuff like this. So, for example, one of the responses that you would have seen in regards to this tweet here is this meme. She was helping minors to get HRT. Yeah, totally reasonable concern. Totally and utterly reasonable concern. And then there's this person here that's going, wow. But then in the head, they're saying it's based. These people are fucking loopy, man. They've lost the plot. What the fuck are you on about? This is insane. This is utterly insane. I know you guys want me to say it, but I believe this already, and I've spoken about it before. But yes, of course, Kiwi Farms were correct in pointing this out. But obviously, Kiwi Farms has got a bad reputation. So what people will do is, rather than address the concerns and considerations that people put out there, is they will just attack Kiwi Farms because it's an easy vector they think they can attack along. But yes, Kiwi Farms is totally correct in terms of like the HRT thing and pointing that out and demonstrating. Yeah, it's totally fucked. I don't know how. Okay, I don't know how you can really defend this in any meaningful way.
Keffals has been on a non-stop character.
Thank you for the $5
since that tweet was made.
That isn't either just attacking Kiwi Farms or defending the principle that minors should be assisted by adults in circumventing their parents, their family, and medical professionals to obtain, in some cases, homemade HRT drugs or instructions on how to make it themselves. So, yeah, I mean, it's just utter insanity as far as I'm concerned. And there's obviously like a lot of deleted tweets. This is the problem with Keffals, is that if you want to cover them, is they post and delete tweets very quickly sometimes. So it's difficult to actually capture it. So anyway, in response to this, Keffals tweeted this out. By the way, the server is still up. I'm sorry, getting the surgery has deprived you of being able to ride my dick. And linked to discord.gg/Catboy Ranch. But apparently, from what I understand, I mean, first of all, you know, it could be that any posts that were bad might have been deleted. I mean, obviously, Keffals deletes their tweets a lot, so I'd presume that they're going to be regularly cleansing Discord to be on the safe side, I'm going to guess. But on top of that as well, apparently, and this isn't something I've been able to verify myself, but apparently this isn't even necessarily the same Discord server. But yeah, I don't know. That's just a rumor, so I can't really speak on that. But it doesn't really matter either way, because it doesn't matter whether or not it's the same Discord server, because acting like, oh, the Discord server still exists, well, maybe you've changed it significantly so that any problems that you had before have deleted. Do you know what I mean? It's like you could easily cover up a Discord server. There's no guarantee that even if bad stuff was happening, it would still exist. And, oh God, can I show this? It's not the same one. Yeah, I can't remember where I saw it, but I just saw someone say that the server ID on this one is different server ID to the other one. But I can't remember where I saw that. That's why I'm saying it's a rumor, because I can't verify it myself, right? This was the image. This was the kind of header for Catboy Ranch. There we go. Right, that should do. Okay. Just to be on the safe side. Right. This was the header image. I've just put a little black bits over the bits that might potentially be a problem. Okay. So this was the header image for Catboy Ranch. I don't know, man. I don't know. Bit suspicious. Bit suspicious there. These look like quite young individuals. I would say personally they look a touch underage. They're not obviously like, 12, but they don't look of age to me. It's kind of on a line, I'd say. Pretty fucked stuff. But anyway, if you want to go and look into this now before the Mutahar video comes out, if you go to Kiwi Farms and you look up Keffals thread, it's all there. It's literally all there to look at. You can look at all the information and all the evidence to come to, the conclusion that you want to. But the Catboy Ranch stuff, I think that it's very possible that there were minors in the Discord. The kind of imagery that's used to promote it looks pretty suspicious. But even with or without the Catboy Ranch stuff, the DIY HRT stuff was totally and utterly fucked as well. So anyway, like I say, that's just a kind of brief overview. Like I say, I'm not here to kind of lay out all the information and the details about it. The information is out there if you want to look it up. It's just to kind of give you the grounding as to what's happening. And also on top of that as well, is to give you the grounding as to why Keffals is acting the way that they're acting. Because think about it, right? All of a sudden now, they're getting a bit of focus from Mutahar, and we're going to get to the messages and the tweets, but they're kind of going back to their old tricks. They're going back to their old ways of like slandering Kiwi Farms and telling lies about Kiwi Farms. And it feels like what's happening is they're recognizing that a big creator is having a look and kind of looking at what they're doing. And rather than engage substantively with the criticism that's being made of them, they're trying to slander Kiwi Farms and also to slander Mutahar too. So anyway, Mutahar's paying attention to Keffals. Keffals responds with this. And then Mutahar responds with this. Cute joke, really. Cute joke. Really, it's a tiny part. I'm more concerned with the allegations of you scamming the community out of $100,000 for a civil London police. I'm not talking about the filing in the Human Rights Tribunal. That's not a civil lawsuit. Let's go! Based! So I have covered this more, so I've got a bit more insight into this aspect of it. But as you know, back in 2022, Keffals was under attack by Kiwi Farms, despite the fact there was another site, Doxbin. That was the site that was actually doxing and doing some of the worst shit to Keffals, but she blamed it all on Kiwi Farms, okay? And as part of her being attacked, she got swatted. So the police turn up to her doorstep. She frames it as a kind of very violent incident that occurred, talking about having a gun pointed in her face. That was then contested and a different story was told. But fundamentally, it is true that Keffals was swatted, right? That did happen. Keffals claims that London police misgendered her and treated her badly. That was contested by the London police. But Keffals claimed that because of the swatting, she needed to raise money for a number of reasons. So one of the reasons she claimed was that she needed to move because she was under threat by Kiwi Farms. The other thing she needed to do is obtain money so she could replace her equipment that was taken by the police as part of this swatting. And number three, she needed the money in order to take legal action against the police for what happened. And the thing is with that story is it's changed repeatedly as time has gone on. Okay? So take, for example, the claim that she needed to move because she was under threat by Kiwi Farms, right? She recently had some drama with her ex where her rape made an allegation against her and she made like a counter allegation. And as part of that, she said she admitted that she didn't actually need to move because of Kiwi Farms. And the real reason she needed to move, she claims, is because of her ex, because she was in an abusive relationship with her ex. So we've got proof now, 100% from her own mouth, that she's lied. She's lied about this. So she lied and claimed that Kiwi Farms was the reason that she needed to move, but now claims it's because of her abusive ex. And this is documented, I think, in my channel, but she did some drama streams about this. And as part of it, that was one of the things that she said, okay? In terms of the computer stuff, she did have equipment taken away, but it got returned quickly within a couple of days. So this idea that she needed this money in order to replace equipment, it isn't really got much grounding either. So the final thing is the legal situation. And she's flip-flopped on this. You know, it seemed, I think everyone would agree that originally when she put out this GoFundMe to get this money, I think everyone would agree that it was part of it was because she wanted to file this legal action. And then for ages, for a long time, she never filed legal action, right? And people were questioning, what's happening with the money? You know, you've collected $100,000 from your audience via a GoFundMe. Why have you not filed any legal action yet? And this was kind of questioned. And then, this is like, it's so complicated to explain all of this in a simple way. So, she, last year, turned out she had a drug issue, right? She said that she had a drug issue and she was freaking out and stuff like that. Okay. And obviously the question becomes, hang on a minute. So you've got this drug issue and you claim you've been dealing with this drug issue for a while. And then also at one point you collected $100,000 from your audience via a GoFundMe to file a lawsuit that never happened. You put those two together and it's like, okay, so drug problem, big lump sum of money, and the thing you were claiming you wanted to do never happened. I think it's quite fair to put 2 and 2 together and get to 4, okay? Anyway, following this kind of drug issue, she went to rehab and then she was going to come back to streaming. And as she was coming back to streaming, she filed something, which is what Muta's talking about here. So she's just about to come back from streaming following the rehab, following this kind of drug issue, right? And she filed a human rights complaint against the City of London police, right? Now, if you look at what a human rights complaint is, it's something that you can file for free. You don't need to pay the kind of lawsuit fees that you normally would because it's like a complaint against the government. Okay? She did have a lawyer that was kind of tweeting a bit about her initially, right? Not UK, Canada. Canada. She did have a lawyer, and the lawyer tweeted about her a little bit. So she was presumably playing a retainer to this lawyer, right? Maybe to help her with the filing or something like that. But, and Muta probably is going to go into this in his video, presumably. But there's no way that it would cost you $100,000 to file a complaint against the government like that. It's just complete baloney. It's total bullshit. So my belief is that what Keffals was doing there is she recognized that she needed a bit of a PR win. So she filed this human rights complaint and paid a bit of money to a lawyer in order to make it look and give it the kind of presentation that she was filing something more significant and more costly than she was actually doing. Right? That is my belief of what was happening there. And obviously it's difficult to kind of prove exactly what has happened with this money because Keffals has never released any information about what happened with it whatsoever. Keffals has never provided substantial financial information to prove what happened with this 100K. And obviously, if she wants to dispel or debunk or disprove any claims of misconduct or mismanagement or embezzlement or whatever you want to call it, all she would need to do is just release the financial records. And that's going to clear everything up. And every single person is going to be able to see what's happening. And also, anyone that's coming after her is going to look like an idiot, aren't they? If she's able to provide substantial proof of what's happened with the money, anyone that's criticized her for how the money has or hasn't been used is going to look stupid. So anyway, that gives you a kind of grounding. Obviously, there's like so much more you can get into with this. You can like see the Catboy Ranch allegations. You can look at the DIY HRT stuff. There's more stuff about the 100K that's out there. There's videos about it. It's all on Kiwi Farms if you want to go and look on that. But that gives you, I guess, a kind of grounding. So to put it very simply in a kind of simple concept is Keffals has done, you know, very disingenuous, bad things in the past, right? And it has been covered, but it hasn't been covered on a wide level. And a lot of the mainstream coverage of Keffals has been very positive and very supportive. But now you've got Mutahar, who's looking at this in a bit more detail. This would probably be like the biggest, most mainstream criticism that Keffals has yet received. And so now, rather than engaging with these criticisms, because for some of this, I don't think there's going to be a substantive defense against the evidence and information that's presented, she's kind of lashing out at Mutahar, lashing out at Kiwi Farms, and doing a kind of classic move, which is, yeah, any detractors, attack them, attack Kiwi Farms because you've got the ability to act like it's the worst, most fucking evil place ever, and do that in order to kind of obfuscate your own misdeeds. That's my belief of kind of what's happening here, right? And that is a very common trope that you see with Keffals, is that this is absolutely what she does again and again and again. And this is just the latest iteration or like the latest version of that, right? So yeah, that's kind of where we are. Now, there is some more tweets to look at. But before we get to that, we do have this Keffals stream in which this is kind of her live response to what was happening with Mutahar. So she was due to do this stream, and the stream was apparently going to be talking about how H3 fans are turning against them. But then the Mutahar tweet dropped, and I think that kind of had an impact and changed things. But let's have a look and see what's going on here.
Okay, we're unmuted. We're good. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Okay, we're unmuted.
Howdy.
Why can I hear myself? Do I have an... Oh my god, stream is so scuffed.
It wouldn't be a Keffals stream if it wasn't scuffed.
You're so good at this.
I am so good at this.
Professional streamer.
Okay. So, just as I'm starting the stream, I found out that Mutahar is planning to epically expose me. I just saw this.
It's like a pre-stream gift that you received while you were prepping.
Right? Like, over 2 years ago, an infamous creator known as Keffals launched
a pre-stream gift. No, it's not. This is not a pre-stream gift. Previously, Keffals has relied on broad support in a kind of take down Kiwi Farms campaign. But a lot of that support now is gone. A lot of that support is not present anymore. So I think that this is going to be an extremely tough and pressing time for Keffals, because things are going to start to get exposed more broadly. And I don't think it's going to be good for Keffals at all. And just to speak a bit on the Kiwi Farms thing too, right? Okay. And this is what makes it so funny in terms of like now Keffals is freaking out about Kiwi Farms. So the DropKiwifarms campaign was something that Keffals spearheaded. And the point of it was that Kiwi Farms operates within legal parameters within the United States. Okay. If a website has illegal content on there, then you can contact the authorities and the authorities will take it down, you know, if it remains on there, right? But Kiwi Farms operates within the legal parameters of the First Amendment in the United States. So it is a legally justified to exist website. So you're not able to go to the US authorities in order to get it taken down because it fits within the law. So what Keffals did is spearheaded this campaign The idea being that Kiwi Farms is a really bad site because they've attacked me and they dox people, and they've also told lies and said and claimed that people have killed themselves because of Kiwi Farms, claims which do not have any good substantive proof or evidence. And there's in fact a very compelling kind of counter narrative to demonstrate that these people that they say killed themselves because of Kiwi Farms, the people that did kill themselves were for other reasons. And there's one particular person where there isn't even good proof or evidence that they're even dead, right? Now, that's a whole fucking can of worms. And again, there's information about there that you can go and look into and talk about and engage with if you want to find out more about that. But one line of argument or one line of thought is that one of the reasons that Keffals was so wanting to take Kiwi Farms down was because there's information on there that's damaging to her and is damaging for her reputation. The DIY HRT stuff, okay? The Catboy Ranch stuff. And also information about the 100K. This is all kind of like well documented on there. And people argue and claim that one of the reasons that this campaign started and continued, because obviously some of that stuff happened, you know, after the campaign started, was because of this information that was on there that looked bad for Keffals, right? Anyway, so you can't go to the US authorities and get them to take down Kiwi Farms because it's a legally operated site. So what do you do instead? Well, you need to target the kind of pillars that hold Kiwi Farms up on the internet. So initially, there's a service called Cloudflare, and Cloudflare provides anti-DDoS protection, or did provide anti-DDoS protection for Kiwi Farms. And the big point of that campaign was basically to make a noise so that Cloudflare would drop Kiwi Farms. And then once Kiwi Farms drops, there's lots of different people that don't like Kiwi Farms, so they would start to instigate these DDoS attacks against Kiwi Farms to take it down, right? And initially, it didn't work, and Cloudflare stayed true to their principle of, even if we don't like it, we're still going to offer protection because we think that's the right thing to do. But then there was a couple of posts that I believe were like considered illegal material because it was to do with like threats or something like that. And Kiwi Farms did quickly take it down, but it didn't matter. The noise was enough that Cloudflare looked at it, and because of the pressure that they were under, they decided to fold, and they did take Kiwi Farms outside of their protection. And then the website started getting attacked heavily. Okay? And so DDoS, the website went down. Now, there's a whole fucking story over the past year and a half that you need to go and look into to understand this fully. But Kiwi Farms now has basically struggled. It's like someone in the water struggling for air as they desperately try and find a way and mean to keep the website online. So it's been up, down, on the clear net, off the clear net. You know, it's been a very troubled waters for Kiwi Farms as it's tried to stay up. And bear in mind, this is a website that you might not like it. There's some things I don't like about it, and I think, you know, are bad. But that being said, legally operated website, okay, that fits within all of the law of like the First Amendment and United States regulations and rules. And this website has been thrown into complete turmoil because of the actions of Keffals and other internet terrorists. Liz Von Jones is another person who is a figurehead in this.
That's wonderful. But how
who's
do I
also
make
been part of
money
this kind of
off the
anti-Kiwi
press
Farms
people?
campaign.
Never ask Keffals about their fart fetish videos. Worst mistake of my life.
Thank you for the $10. So anyway, Kiwi Farms has been in kind of troubled waters, but fundamentally, Kiwi Farms has managed to struggle and push forward and survive. And this is in no small part due to the actions of Josh Moon, or Null, who is the owner of Kiwi Farms. And he's been fighting for his life, essentially. And obviously, you know, the story kind of lost interest after the Drop Kiwi Farm stuff, but it's still ongoing. And he has had to have numerous battles with various companies, like Backbone ISPs. I don't know much about the technical side, you know, fighting with various groups to try and keep the website up, right? But fundamentally, it's still up. You can access, I think, as of today, the 18th of February, 2 p.m., I'm pretty sure you can access it now on the normal internet. Let me just check before I say for sure. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Yes. It is accessible today. There we go. So you can access it right now on the ClearNet. Kiwifarms.st, I think is the link at the moment, okay? However, its enemies, you could say, celebrated a bit too soon. You know, in a horror movie...
Wonderful. But how do I make money off
Thank you for the super chats.
Like the stream, peeps.
True, like the stream, thank you. You know, in a horror movie where you take down the bad guy and he's laying there and you think you've succeeded and you turn away and he gets back up and slaughters your friend, okay? It's basically like that. But it's so funny that Keffals is freaking out now about Kiwi Farms. Because there was stuff like this that was posted. This is a video that is still up now. Kiwi Farms is dead. We won. 2013 to 2022. It's still up. What do you mean you won? What do you mean it's dead? So this was the cope that they celebrated that Kiwi Farms got taken down, but unfortunately, it wasn't taken down, and they continued to fight on. They won for like a month maybe, but then the website started to come back up. And on top of that as well, for a long time, yeah, they acted like it would gotten taken down. And then as it started to come back up, people started to say, hang on a minute, the website's back up. I thought it was done. And so they started to get a bit of grief because people were asking about it, but they just kind of kept a lid on it, didn't talk about it, and just ignored the fact that they hadn't won, that Kiwi Farms wasn't dead, and it was still in operation. So anyway, just kind of funny how now they're freaking out about Kiwi Farms when they were celebrating its demise in videos like that. So, that's just a little bit of background on the Kiwi Farm story. Again, all of this stuff, I'm giving like a super quick summary with the key details that I'm more, you know, kind of certain about. There's a lot more stuff out there that you can go and look at. It's documented on YouTube. It's documented on Kiwi Farms. Josh Moon has got a stream, Mad at the Internet, Matty. You can go and watch that, and he talks about in the stream some of the issues that he's faced and some of the problems that he's dealing with. And one recent development is there was a company that basically slandered Kiwi Farms and claimed that it had child pornography on the website, which isn't true. And Josh Moon was like outraged by this, rightly so, and was really mad about it and said, take down this slanderous post. And as a result of this, decided to start a legal fund. And so now I think they've got like a sort of $150,000 war chest that they're looking to use to file lawsuits against people or defend lawsuits where necessary. So anyway, there we go. That is the kind of latest, I guess, latest developments. So, why are you saying rip Chud? What's that about? So anyway, that's just a bit of background on everything that I think is kind of relevant to the situation. Let's continue.
Viral campaign on the internet. As I research more about this event and her, I've come across disturbing revelations of her Catboy Ranch. Can't go too into detail, but it's an insane story and none of it is pleasant.
Oh my god.
This shit is...
Trigger warning, unpleasant.
It's just ridiculous.
That's it. It's Jover for you, Clara. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, rips.
There was a tweet. Wait, the H3 subreddit has like more than 2,000 upvoted posts about my Catboy Ranch, where they unironically say that I was giving callers to minors with GPS tracking chips. It's like it's getting into QAnon shit.
So it's funny because there is some truth to the Catboy Ranch stuff, but what happens is they like go to an absurdity. So they point to something which, you know, on the face of it at the very least sounds totally absurd to downplay the rest of it. It's a classic technique, right? You don't focus on the actual substantive criticism or issue. It's, oh, look at this insane claim that this person is making. rather than engage with the actual substance of what's being said.
Jeez.
Incredible.
Tipster,
By the way, chat's saying that we're a little quiet.
you're a little quiet. Okay. How do I fix that?
I don't know. You're the professional streamer.
I'm not.
streamer,
I'm
yeah.
really bad at that. I can turn my own audio down. That might work.
You could turn your own audio down, but not ours up.
Yeah.
You're incredible.
I'm
Like some of the
I don't give a fuck what
screenshots that were
anyone says.
allegedly of
Keffals
the
is
server
fun.
weren't even for the same server. It was like a completely different server or
it's
some shit.
Well,
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is that this all started because
And then Tipster's there to sweep a bit and just throw in kind of extraneous details. You know, half-remembered extraneous details. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the way I look at it is this. If there's nothing to hide, and it is a nothing burger, why are you so worried about Mutahar talking about it? To the point where you're going on like an extended attack against Mutahar. That's crazy. Why are you bothered about the scrutiny then? If he's going to look at it and he's going to find nothing, well, it doesn't matter, does it? You know?
Clara was fighting with people because she hated Lolly.
Yeah,
so
that's
she was
it.
fighting with Lolly. The whole thing was because Lollicons hated her for calling them pedophiles. That was how this all started, and it's like it's all converging. And no
Who
one
is
can-
this fucking clown? Arif Hassan. Who the fuck is this loser? This fucking Janny freak sweeping away. Who is that? I've got no... Does anyone know who this guy is?
It's come full
understand.
circle.
I know, it's insane, because I started calling them pedophiles, because they're pedophiles. And as a response to that, they decided to make up this entire story about how I'm actually the real pedophile. Because that's what they do. Lollicons love to do that shit.
Okay, and again, oh, they're all lollicons that are coming after me. That's just not true. Much of this stuff, and it's funny, isn't it? Because they're claiming it's lollicons, but then later acting like, oh, it's the big bad wolf Kiwifarms that's putting all this out. It's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and they're like, "Hey, why are you so obsessed with calling pedophiles? That's pretty suspicious. You must be a pedophile." And it's like, "I'm sorry, that deflection's not going to work this time. You have drawings
Jesus.
of
God,
kids,
I
man.
fucking hate
That's not
Polly
going to
so
work."
much.
Oh man, it's nuts. But whatever.
Yeah. So today, obviously a lot to cover. Ethan Klein and the H3 crew reacted to my most recent video. The 2Mad stuff, there's so many layers to that. I don't even know where to fucking begin. And I have no idea what's going on with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that either. So like when
Oh,
Arif
I'm
fills
so
us in on
excited.
that one, that's gonna
Yeah,
be
but
fun.
we got a whole show planned
Update you
today.
on that. Yeah.
Before I get into the Ethan stuff, I want to cover a bunch of other stuff that's going on. I should probably screen share and make that easier. I guess the first thing is that we got condemned by Ryan Beard.
Oh, I
heard
saw
about
this.
I have given Keffals way too many chances at good faith and trying to be charitable towards her, but after the video she released today, the only conclusion I can draw is she's a blatant intentional liar. I'm done associating with her, Tipster, or Vaush. And I'm just...
Go ahead.
I'm not really disappointed. Like, I always... I actually... Ellen DeGenerate was shit-talking Ryan in my replies. And I said, come
I
on,
don't
be
give a
nice,
fuck
I
what
like
anyone
Ryan.
Says. Keffals is fun.
And then, following that, I was going to post this because Ellen said, I have many reasons not to like Ryan, and I was going to say, well, I like him now, but I absolutely don't trust him and think he's going to stab me in the back when it's convenient, but I decided not to because I thought it would instigate it, and then the next fucking day.
Your spidey sense was tingling.
It's just,
Oh man.
it was so obvious. He's done
I
this
think
like
it's funny-
5 times.
I think it's funny that he says he's done associating with, I don't know, I can't speak for you or Vaush, but like, when did I ever associate with Ryan Beard? We've had like maybe 2 or 3 conversations in total.
I have no idea.
The funny thing is, like,
It's
the other night on my
thing is to, like,
stream,
lump all of you together, right? Like, and so even though you're all like 3 different people, like the rhetorical move is to be like, oh yeah, Keffals, Tipster, Vaush, Keffals, Tipster, Vaush. It's like an amalgam that we all like condemn. So it's easy that way.
Why do you think that is, Arif Hassan? Oh god, this guy's so fucking stupid. Who is this guy? Who is this fucking clown, Arif Hassan, you fucking retard? The reason we're doing that is because Vaush had a leak where he showed his porn folder and it included lolicon horsecock porn. And Tipster and Keffals are the 2 prominent people that came to defend him. And also attacked H3. They defended Vaush and attacked H3 and put themselves in the limelight. And now there's a big drama blowing up, and Ryan Beard is saying, I don't want none of this shit, which is actually a good move from Ryan Beard. You know, I've had little clashes with Ryan Beard in the past, but, you know, he can fucking see the writing on the wall.
I think it's funny that, like, I mean, obviously I went to bat for Vaush with like the recent stuff, but like prior to last night, Vaush and I have never directly communicated ever. So it's like funny that I get like so tied to like Vaush in this way when it's like, yeah, he barely.
You're getting Tipster, you fucking idiot. You're getting tied to Vaush because you defended some insane shit he's done.
Okay, that's one.
How can these people be so stupid, man?
Depressed people.
Dude. You defended an insane thing that he did, and that just happened.
Barely knew I existed prior to any of this shit.
Yeah,
I'm not confident he knows you exist now, if I'm being...
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we literally had a conversation last night, so a brief one, but yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Welcome to the circle of people where it's really profitable to hate.
Yeah,
You can make
true,
people's
true.
careers.
Nice. Well, congratulations, everybody. Milk the content all you want. I get it. You know, I know the content grind. I know how this works.
Yeah, it was like Nicholas.
It's so funny that Tipster is acting like he knows how all this works, when every single step of the way he has made the worst possible decision of how to handle this, including this stream. Again, it feels like Vaush didn't understand the enormity of what is happening. And now, here, Tipster doesn't understand the enormity of what is happening. You are connecting yourself closely to people who are about to have a fucking nuke dropped on them. And if you genuinely feel that that's the right thing to do, then fair enough. That's up to you at the end of the day. But from where I'm sitting, it's not. Dude, it's just complete and utter lack of understanding of what's happening here.
Oreo had his best viewership ever in a stream that was just dunking on you. I mean,
Yeah.
I was there. I'm your friend. I was there. I wanted to watch him cook a bit.
I think it's funny about like this.
You were enabling him to cook, right? You were like donating, making sure that
I
you get as much people out there.
I was doing my part.
Yeah.
I think what's funny about this like Ryan Beard tweet is during my stream he like
So there was a lot of gay shit that these people do. Like Keffals and Tipster before have like done fake beef where they've acted like they're falling out. And I mean, to be fair, there's some people in the commentary community, like fucking Bo Blacks, retard, who fucking jump on it and immediately start jumping for joy at the idea that these two are fighting. And then they tweet stuff out and then they have to go, oh, no, I'm wrong, actually. Like, it's fine to talk about it. You know, I mentioned it on my stream, but I made sure to preface it by saying, these guys have done fake shit before, so be aware, this might be that again, right? But there's some people that just are like, oh my God, look, they're fighting again. And it's like, they've done this before. How can you possibly, is it the autism, Mo Blacks? Is it the autism? And you think it's serious? Is that what it is? Bro. Stop fucking jumping the gun. And if you're going to tweet about it, preface it. Hey guys, people have noticed that they've unfollowed each other, but they've done fake shit before, so this could all be bullshit, okay? There we go. It could ironically be. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm being ableist right now. So yeah, the problem is it does work. And honestly, okay. I wonder if there was a different series of events that was going to occur here. Because this Mutahar tweet, where he's talking about making a video, I think that that's kind of changed things quite a lot. And I do wonder if there was another route that was going to be taken with this. And there was going to maybe genuinely be a bit of a backstabbing happening. But then, you know, the route changed. But it could also be that Keffals is going around trying to kind of stoke or act like there's fake drama. That is something that Keffals has done before. That's also very possible. But Nicholas actually mentioned this. That basically Keffals had messaged him.
Yo, I have like this really bad clip of like Vaush. I'm paraphrasing obviously, but it was something like, I think you should really see this. And so I was like, all right, send me the clip and I'll take a look at it after the stream. And I did, but like it was a drama alert clip and it was clip chimped just like all the other shit about Vaush going around. It's like, come on, bro, you expect me to take you seriously when you're sending me a clip from fucking drama alert?
First, the lolly debate repeats itself. Now the fake fallout of Keffals and Tipster repeats itself. These guys need new tricks. Keffals DM'd me that she isn't disavowing Tipster totally, but that his take on Chris Tyson was horrible. I think the unfollow thing was a bit, but I genuinely think she agrees his Chris take was insane. So again, this is, as I was mentioning earlier, Tipster had defended Chris from Mr. Beast over the Shadman connection and over some of the lolly shit, acting like the image that Shadman had shared wasn't lolly and it was an adult, Belle Delphine style adult. Anyway, that's a fucking... There's so many little strands of shit you need to explain so that people that don't know can understand this, right? But yeah. Anyway. Bear in mind, do not forget, the only reason that Keffals is bringing up the Chris from Mr. Beast thing is because it's an effective vector of attack. In that H3 went pretty soft on Chris from Mr. Beast, and so Keffals saw it as an opportunity to attack H3 in order to try and obfuscate and defend Vaush in some way, right? And at this point, I think that the way Keffals is handling this is all now about self-protection, particularly with the Mutahar tweet. So all of the actions now we're seeing from Keffals, you can interpret it as all this is self-preservation, right? Lashing out in order to defend herself against this further scrutiny from a big YouTuber, you know? So yeah, the Chris from Mr. Beast thing, I agree that H3 didn't go hard enough, but it is a red herring and it's designed to kind of obfuscate and lash out in a way that, you know, protects Keffals' self and whatnot. And apparently Tipster makes some further comments about this later, so we'll get to that.
Okay. Speaking of that, BadEmpanada has been real fucking mad at me recently. So we just put out this video. Keffals admits her pedophilia.
I don't really care about BadEmpanada.
2 minutes,
Like the title?
49 seconds.
Like, BadEmpanada is the least of your fucking concerns, okay? I mean, BadEmpanada is a fucking humegalol in all of this. I think they move on and talk about other stuff. So they talk about Taylor Swift, which I don't really care about. You want to be worrying about the Mutahar nuke that's about to drop. Bad Faith Empanada. Okay, so we got more stuff here. Is this getting into it?
It's not a psyop. I hate that she's a Democrat, and Democrats will do
Of coordination of mainstream media in the real world
I've
just
not
like
timestamped
really
this, so bear
upsets
with
them
me.
and makes them uncomfortable.
war. I would not have believed you. Like, yeah, how did we get football? That's crazy. Okay, sure, but and it like immediately their brain pops off, right? It's just like, oh,
this is the first time I've heard this guy and I fucking despise him. Fucking freak.
Okay,
Johnny
that's
sweeping freak.
How do I make money
Thank you very
off
much,
the
John
press
Bravo.
John Bravo became a member.
I mean, it's fine, you know, if they want to talk about that. I literally just despise him. I literally hate him. I'm full of hatred.
it's a conspiracy. They're trying to of the stream. Thanks for.
I'm low hanging fruit to the.
Okay, here we go. Now we get to the
It's 2 minutes. I think we can handle it.
Yeah, now there's like a Twitter quote tweet battle with Mutahar.
Oh, what's going on?
Who's he fighting with?
Me?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so that's happening right now.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And it's like, yeah, he's gonna fucking roast me because it's like, I'm low hanging fruit to these people.
Yeah, pretty
Oh
much.
yeah. This is like very funny. Okay.
Is it funny? Really? It's funny? I mean, look, if this was me and I had a big YouTuber on my ass and I didn't really have much grounds to stand on and all I would be able to do is lash out at them and call them fucking Kiwi Farmer, I don't know if I'd find it funny. I'd be like, oh shit, I need to fucking get my shit in order and get my stuff together. I don't know if I'd be on a live stream fucking just pumping out this, whatever this is.
Yeah, he brought up the Catboy Ranch stuff, and I just said, I'm sorry getting the surgery deprived you of being able to ride my dick. The server's still up, and I linked.
Yo, this is funny, isn't it, guys? Am I right? Wow, this is real humorous stuff, yeah? Right?
The Catboy Ranch Discord, which is why the server got brigaded, but it's paywalled, which is really funny.
Yeah.
And then he brought up the lawsuit, and then he's like, well, you said you were doing a lawsuit. I'm not talking about the Human Rights Tribunal. That's not a civil lawsuit. It's like, the reason I went through the Human Rights Tribunal is because I want the police to change policy, which you can't do through a civil lawsuit. If I did a civil lawsuit, all I would get is money, and they would all be bitching and saying all I want is money. I want the police to have body cams. That's something.
What? No. Okay, this is complete cope, right? People may say that, but the main criticism that I've seen is that you collected $100,000 from your audience and never did what you said you were going to do with it. Right? That is the fundamental criticism of you. So if people said that, you could say, well, I'm using them. God, this is such cope. She's such a fucking liar. She's a fucking liar. And this is total cope from this fucking bitch, okay? It's complete cope. She's lying. The 100K is probably gone at this point, okay? If it's not, release the evidence and prove it to everyone. If you genuinely are saying that you wanted to take this process, well, then you never needed the 100K in the first place and you never should have collected it. Oh my God, it's so annoying. The lies that are being told.
Something you can do through the Human Rights Tribunal. That's not something you can do through a civil lawsuit. And he would know that if he actually understood the laws in his own fucking country.
And also, look, listen, okay? I obviously recently had my criticism of Muta. I spoke to him. We had it out a bit. He was very contrite. His audience still were mad at me because they're retarded. But anyway, putting that to one side. Complete and utter support for Mutahar in this new endeavor. I just think, you know, he did a good job with the Gerard the Completionist stuff. Hopefully he's able to do a good job with this and looking into this too, because this is a complete fucking sham. This is a total sham, and it needs to, you know, I'm glad, hopefully, that people are going to talk about it on a bigger level. Because I spoke about this like December, and I was like talking about the 100K thing, and it was just kind of like, you kind of shrug your shoulders, because all you can do is really say it's bad, and that's it. Like, unless it gets picked up and it gets wider coverage, there's not really anything that's going to happen. But now we've got people who have got big channels that are looking at this. And on top of that as well, I think that, you know, this lashing out is indicative that Keffals is worried too, you know?
Like your lawyer listed as a series of recommendations to you. Like it's something that you, in consultation with the lawyer that you're paying, made a decision on. And then the lawyer is the one who is doing all of the filing, going over everything involved with the tribunal on your dime, because you're paying your lawyer. Shout out to Anus Man.
Also, do they not know how to...
This guy. Arif Hassan, Leviathans are coming for you. The sweeping is unbelievable. How much does it cost to pay a lawyer, a retainer, to fill in some fucking forms? What are you on about?
Like, actually look at the GoFundMe and see what it said. Like, if I remember correctly, it didn't specifically say, like, lawsuit. It said legal action, and that can mean anything.
Yeah,
It also included like moving expenses too.
Yeah,
like,
moving expenses and stuff like that, yeah. But they always ignore that part of it.
Yeah, Tipster, you little fucking rat. Moving expenses that originally, in the original drama, was claimed to be because KiwiFarms is like attacking her. But more recently, Keffals has admitted that the real reason, well, they claim the real reason, is that it's because her ex was abusive. And that's why that they needed the money. So there's concrete proof of a changing of the story, which indicates that, what, you know, at some point Keffals has lied about the fundamental reason that they needed the money, which was to move. And the lawsuit thing is cope as well, because at the time, everyone agreed and everyone thought it was to do some sort of lawsuit. God, it's so frustrating to hear the sweeping that's going on right now.
Yeah, it was pretty broad. I actually saw a lawyer before putting up the GoFundMe and had the lawyer go over it to make sure that I was doing everything right with having a GoFundMe. I put in more effort than most people do with a GoFundMe when they usually just like put it up on a whim and don't think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every press release went through a lawyer. I remember that. The GoFundMe went through a lawyer. Yeah, every instance of going forward with legal action went through a lawyer.
Well, then provide the receipts. If it's all above board and all of it's paid for, it should all be documented. You should be able to provide proof from invoices and stuff like that. Here's where the money went. Here's an invoice from the lawyer. Here's how much this cost. Here's how much this cost. Here's how much this cost. Provide evidence then. Provide the proof. Right? I mean, that's what people do. If you collect money for charity, for a charity purpose, or because, you know, in the GoFundMe situation, Most people will be willing to provide proof if questioned about it. All of this is going to be itemized. All of it will be laid out very clearly. So all that would need to happen is you need to provide the evidence of the paper trail. And then that shuts everyone up, doesn't it? And if anything, it makes the people who have been critical of Keffals look like idiots, doesn't it? You make people look like idiots by going, "Oh, you think I embezzled the money and didn't use it for legal fees? Well, here's all the proof. You're an idiot, aren't you?" So why not do that?
A lawyer was critical for you to get like your computer back from the police. Like it's like I don't think they remember or care. I mean, they primarily don't care, but like all the parts of the process here, that lawyers are expensive, that moving to multiple hotels and then moving internationally is like expensive. Like these are all expenses, and they were all accounted for in the GoFundMe statement, which did not say the word lawsuit, right? It was designed to provide justice, with both included a legal defense against whatever charges the police may bring against you, which thank God they didn't, and also to seek justice against, you know, the police in a proactive sense, right? Like, so it was like a fairly broad mandate. It also included a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
that, like,
this thing about the equipment is cope as well, because the police gave the equipment back within a matter of days. It was literally a very quick turnaround. So this cope of like, oh, you need to replace the equipment. No, you didn't. It was released within days. You had the stuff back. So what equipment did you need to buy? And how much would it have even cost?
Like you did end up doing that's like pretty expensive. They also don't realize like the lawyers are very involved in a lot of the stuff that you were doing. I don't know, man. It's very like annoying.
Well, then provide evidence of all of that then. Why would we take your word for it? Keffals has said that they had drug problems. I think it's fair to assume that if you've got drug problems, you may receive money and spend it in inappropriate ways that aren't for what you collected it for. So in order to counteract that, just release the proof of all of this. Is that like, I mean, you guys are going to agree with me, but it's like, am I crazy? Like, this is an obvious thing, isn't it? Such an obvious move.
Like, yeah, now there's only two options. You either pay a lawyer $100,000 to file a civil lawsuit, and that's the only thing it can be used for, or you're doing a bunch of cocaine. Those are the two things that you could do with that money.
Yeah.
Arif Hassan, you're a wretched, sweeping Janny, and I fucking despise you. You release the information about it. Release the info, like I'm saying. Also, I love the fact that they come up with this absurd dichotomy, that it's not a dichotomy, is it? Right? I think we can all agree that some of the money was likely used for some of these costs. I think that's a reasonable assumption, right? The moving, some costs incurred there, maybe some lawyer fees perhaps, or something like that, right? But what we're talking about is the sheer amount of money that was raised, 100K, versus the expenditure likely being much lower than that.
Money off depressed people.
Keffals is most likely being dishonest to a degree, and Tipster just wants to be a simp. No
Thank you for the
morals or
$4.99.
principles in either of them. Such cope and sweep.
So, you know, it's like... And remember, the way that Keffals did it, she started off at a much lower amount and then kept raising it and raising it and raising it until it was 100K. And then claimed that that was actually the amount of money that they wanted originally, but they just didn't put that in there. Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say because I've already been over this like 100 times. And at this point, I'm just like, I've addressed it all. It's all in my content. People can go seek it out if they want. I'm just going to be indignant if they bring this shit up again. Like with the Catboy Ranch libel. It's like, I've already addressed this 100 times. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, why the fuck why would I take it seriously?
It's like just coming up again. Yeah, it's so stupid.
There becomes a point when like you've addressed something so many times that you just kind of like, it's not even worth engaging with it any further. So yeah, I think that's honestly like the best approach is you've already said your piece on it. You've already kind of stated, you know, your position. There's no point in continuing to, you know, relitigate it over and over again.
Yeah.
Anyway, that Discord message where you said you were a pedophile.
Yeah, I'm going to go over that. I'm just like replying to Muta again, and then I'm going to stop looking at Twitter for the rest of this. I just didn't expect this to come up around the time the stream started.
It was literally right before the stream started.
The only reason
Yeah.
you're doing this is because you got dragged for supporting
Okay, that's
Kiwi
wonderful.
Farms during the
But
campaign to
how
have the
do I
site
make
deplatformed.
money off depressed people?
Why is everyone ignoring the leaked messages where the
Thank
person
you
asks
for the
if
super
she's going
chat.
to follow through with her promise to her about the GoFundMe money?
At this point, there's an absolute ton of stuff that would take a long time to lay out and put into a coherent timeline. I think there's people that have, you've obviously got like the Destiny Keffals manifesto. There's other videos people have made about it. I've covered it a bit, but that was the manifesto that I spoke about. Kiwi Farms is, the reality is, that's the best source for a lot of this stuff because it's all there. Obviously, you know, you can click through. There's a certain timeline there because it's all, you know, a continuous thing. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I think it would be good if Kiwi Farms had like a specific thing where you could click through. I don't know if this exists, but you can kind of click through to all of the relevant dramas, because what will happen is they'll put like a post that has got all of the relevant information for that particular drama in like one post, and you can just look through it. Yeah, exactly, Jomi. Yeah, there's just too many pages. But if there was a way to kind of just have the quick access, especially if Mutahar's making videos about it, so people can look at it more easily.
Okay, that's wonderful.
You know, I would
But how
never
do
have
I
guessed
make
that you use
money
Grammarly
off
by the way
depressed
that you
people?
type in tweet.
Tipster's died on Lowly Hill so many times. What's
Thank you
the
for the
point
bits.
of relitigating over and over again? Rolling eyes face, rolling eyes face, rolling eyes face.
Would Chud be okay with his home address listed there too? Would I be personally okay with it? I mean, obviously I'd be bothered by it and I wouldn't like it. But would that mean that I would engage in a campaign to take it down and destroy it? Well, no. There you go. There's your answer. I mean, you can have stuff that exists that personally you don't like, but that doesn't mean that entitles you to go and destroy the entire website over it when it's legally protected within the country it exists in. But yeah, obviously that would suck, right? But you know, it's like my principle is Kiwi Farms deserves to exist. That's it. End of conversation.
Really? Well, yeah, because I actively ignore it most of the time. But sometimes there's a word I forgot how to spell, and it's like, oh yeah, that's how. Sometimes.
It happens.
I mean, you've seen her text. It happens a lot.
True.
Yeah, exactly, Alanar. Alanar is correct. The reality is, if Chud gets doxxed, that info is out there on the internet. Its existence on Kiwi Farms doesn't really matter at that point because he's never going to control it, even if Kiwi Farms gets taken down. Yeah, exactly.
She'll like message me something and I'm like, I don't know if she's just like pushing random characters to get my attention or if like it's a typo. I don't know.
See, this is the other problem as well with this, is like Keffals is like lashing out. The only reason you were doing this is that you got dragged for supporting Kiwi Farms during the campaign to have the site deplatformed. You could continue with your rumor mill drama slop, but I know where you get your sources. So obviously that's in reference to Kiwi Farms. And you'll see in other tweets that Keffals is trying to paint Mutahar as like a far-right Kiwi Farms guy, which just isn't true. That isn't true at all. This just seems so foolhardy as well, like going after Mutahar in this way. I mean, it's fine to criticize Mutahar, obviously, but I just think this is gonna, anyone that isn't a complete simp of yours is gonna think you're fucking deranged. And also with this here, my understanding with Mutahar quits Twitter after defending Kiwi Farms. I'm pretty sure that Mutahar was critical of some aspects of Kiwi Farms, but I think that he defended its right to exist, if I remember correctly. And off the back of this, he got a bunch of shit, which meant that he ended up taking some time away. I'll be corrected if I'm wrong. But yeah.
She'll like blaze right past it too. She does not care.
Yeah, now I'm just like rechecking my thing during a stream.
Jeez.
You can make your rumor mill drama slop, but I know where you are getting there. Perfectly
Chat,
sourced.
appreciate this. We're looking into the process of genius.
Jeez.
Perfect.
All right, now you gotta close Twitter.
Now I have to close this shit.
Chud is the kind of guy to fight with Kiwi farmers just because his docs isn't correct. He's the kind of dude to fight about the exact amount of trans people he's had sex with. You can't. What the fuck?
Okay. Let's see. Where were we? BadEmpanada.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I just
But
wanted
how
to
do I
laugh.
make
Like, this
money
tweet
off
got
depressed
deleted.
people?
To be used for drugs.
Thank you very much for the super chat. This tweet got deleted. Who cares about BadEmpanada, man? Fuck me. BadEmpanada is a fucking least of your concern here. Jesus. I guess I should take this opportunity to... There's also some more H3 stuff, which we'll look at. But let's have a look at some of the other tweets. You will need to excuse me because, number one, Keffals deletes tweets repeatedly, so it's very difficult to keep track of everything that they've said about this. And two, I did oversleep today. It's Sunday, you know, it is what it is. So I've not had a chance to really collect everything substantively to show you. But if there's anything amiss, by all means link it in Twitch or on my Discord. But Kristen Ark, shout out to Kristen Ark. Shout out Kristen Ark. They've actually documented some of this stuff, which is good. So obviously just documenting the initial part of the conversation. And then you've got this here, which we saw get put out on stream. This then got deleted. And then just clips here, which are just showing what we just saw, right? Noel keeps Tipster and Keffals up at night like the boogeyman. Keffals thinks you're a Kiwi farmer. The Radical Dino. Keffals retweeted it. Great job, Mutahar. Look at all these wonderful people you've attracted to your 4chan research post. I swear, is there some kind of death curse on the online left that we just can't have good
that's
things?
Wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
For legal fees. Keep separate.
This is what people have been whipped up into. Is someone just saying, Kiwi Farms? I saw this on Kiwi Farms. People freak out about it. So what? What does it matter? What does it matter if it's from Kiwi Farms? Like, if the evidence is there, and you can... That's the key point of this. What information are you looking at? It doesn't really matter where it came from. So anyway, Kristen Ark is getting maligned as a Kiwi farmer, apparently, over this. After getting the money, she even announced on her Twitter where to find her IRL. So much for being on the run. Who's going to TwitchCon? I'll be there if anyone wants to meet up. So yeah, there's just a kind of flurry of tweets, and it's difficult to kind of track all of them down. But like I say, if you've got any more that I'm not seeing here, by all means let me know. I would be so much happier if Keffals is a kind of a bitch who can sometimes be too aggressive was a standard for critique. But unfortunately, sensationalism sells, so all the critiques become that I drown my underage cat boys in the bathtub I used to make DIY hormones. Do you see what's happening here? You take the criticism to an absurdity to make a mockery of it. So it sounds like, oh, they're saying crazy things about me. Where I'm sure there are people saying crazy things. I've got no doubt about that. But there is a more fundamental, correct critique and analysis of your actions that's being made that you try and obfuscate by going to an extremity of it. You know, it would be like, let's say there was a guy and they got accused of being a bit creepy in DMs, right? You're being a bit of a creeper, a bit pushy, right? And then you go, oh, but there's people out there that are calling me a fucking rapist pedophile. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But like, there's still a fundamental critique that you need to answer to. And it's okay if you want to push back against the extremity, but I think you should probably provide proof of it happening, really, just to be 100%. This is what people are saying. Here's a big account saying it. But there's still a fundamental critique that you need to address.
Wonderful. But
that's being kind of obfuscated, right?
Depressed people.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've spoken about this before. I guess I'll kind of mention it briefly now. But yeah, Keffals previously has called me a pedophile. What happened was I was on a panel and Keffals was like live reacting to it. And in response to me saying something, I don't even think I said anything crazy. I just was talking. Keffals said, isn't this guy a pedophile? And even in the chat, people were saying like, no, he's not a pedophile. There was some drama he was involved in, but he wasn't a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. And eventually they ended up kind of, but, you know, I don't care personally about it anymore. It's like, whatever. I'm not bothered about it. It's a long time ago now and I'm well over it. But yeah, it's just to demonstrate, you know, that's the kind of thing that she'll do. Anne, are you a Keffals simp? Oh my God, could you imagine? And you said Soren retracted it in the next 10 seconds. Not really. That isn't really what happened, is it? Like on stream, I think they recognized that they got it wrong, but they didn't really. I mean, we talked a bit and we kind of squashed it, but yeah, you know, I don't really care that much anymore about it. I just something to bear in mind, you know. And then obviously they've repeatedly called Keemstar a pedophile. You know, it's all just stuff where it's like you were doing the thing that you're now complaining about. You know? That's the reality of it.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed
Thank you for the
people?
super chats, guys. Keep them coming.
While subtlety admitting the allegations are true, are not lost on everyone cuckolds.
You know, and there's other, like, basically, Keffals is now on this campaign to try and smear Mutahar as some sort of, like, far-right guy. Mutahar's descent into the alt-right is going to hurt, man. Mutahar hosts a podcast with Keemstar called Lolcow Live, where they call the hosts farmers and have tried to bring the owner of Kiwifarms on as a guest. He's already arrived. So they're calling Mutahar alt-right. They're calling Muta.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Classic straw man argument. This money is for buying chips and salsa, mix irresponsibly with the legal fund.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Genetic fallacy is a fallacy of irrelevance in which arguments or information are dismissed or validated based solely on their source of origin rather than their content.
Oh, genetic fallacy. There's a name for it, is there? Keffals is engaging in the genetic fallacy. That's based. Let's go. Thank you very much for the super chats, guys. Okay. There's more tweets, I'm sure, but Keffals has deleted a bunch of them, so I don't know which ones are still up and which aren't. I'll just have a little look around and see.
His video.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. Shit. Where'd it go?
For the YouTuber
Okay.
Keffals, who has been enthusiastically defending Vaush, another YouTuber who was recently outed for being a pedophile who has lolly porn, aka drawn child porn, on his computer, has decided to engage in clear and obvious defamation against me, making a video where she includes false screenshots that insinuate that I am a pedophile, in a video where she tries to claim incessantly that it's wrong to falsely accuse people of being pedophiles, while defending Vaush, who is a confirmed—
See, I hate that. I fucking hate this. I hate when people use this hypocrisy argument for me when they start off by falsely accusing people as pedophiles. Like, how is it hypocritical if I throw it back in your face if you start off by falsely accusing someone else of being a pedophile?
There's more evidence that Vaush
In their brain,
pedophile
it's not false, so it's different, and because it's different, it's not hypocritical. It's very good brain work. It's genius level stuff.
I don't understand pedo hunting. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah, there's like this crazy, like, unhinged obsession with it. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm obviously—
Look, BadEmpanada just doesn't have a leg to stand on. BadEmpanada is a fucking weird freak himself, so he's not got any leg to stand on with this stuff. But, I mean, I did see that people were sharing this, and fundamentally, on principle, you know, this looked fake to me. So I just thought, yeah, I don't think this is real. I saw a bunch of people sharing it, but it did look fake. Yeah. So— that being said, I mean, BadEmpanada is a total freak himself, so I'm not going to go out on a limb to defend the guy, but yeah, this looked fake.
In favor of like legitimate like child predators being exposed, but like it's gotten to the point where we've really lowered the bar for what makes someone a pedophile, and I think it like actually is a slap in the face to actual victims of legitimate child predators.
Yeah, because like I remember growing up watching To Catch a Predator, and in those cases, it was people who were like seeking out children to have sex. But on the internet in recent years, all of the pedo hunting stuff has just been like someone maybe accidentally liked lolly on their Twitter timeline or something once.
Or like you tweeted something that looks like you might be flirting with like a minor who you didn't even know was a minor, and also you weren't flirting, but like that's enough now.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really insane. It doesn't take much to label someone a pedophile these days.
pedophile.
So, yeah, here's some other stuff. So this again, you know, Josh quote tweeted Muta, just say the words, Kiwi Farms was right. Which is what people were saying to me earlier. Which, by the way, I'm not shy about saying, to be clear, okay? I just thought it's funny that I'm like, yeah, I know that they're right about at least some of this stuff. I mean, I've not looked at it in detail, but definitely the criticisms of the GoFundMe, 100%, there's a lot of legitimacy there. The DIY HRT stuff's totally fucked. Although the Catboy Ranch thing, I think I'm going to go ahead and just have a look at the Catboy Ranch stuff that's on Kiwi Farms at some point. I still don't know if I'm going to be in a position where I can kind of lay it all out and present all the information, but I just want to know for my own interest, really. I just know looking at it, it's like, yeah, there's definitely a lot of suspicious shit here that's worthy of some concern, you know? Anyway, Keffals says, if the owner of Kiwi Farms is cheering you on, you need to reconsider your life choices. Why? Like, this is just Kiwi Farms bad, Josh Moon bad, therefore anything that happens, it's bad, right? It's just guilt by association shit. Yeah, exactly. And then obviously, you know, of course, someone else followed suit. Does Tipster have an original thought in his head, or does he just copy someone else at every turn? Like, bro, come up with an original thought, can you? What the fuck is this? It's like he's got no agency. And then there's this too, which has been screenshotted here. Before I put up my GoFundMe, I had a lawyer help me write and set it up. The funds were for moving expenses. I moved twice. Recouping my losses. I had to take extensive periods off work and an employer. Legal expenses. My legal case has been filed and ongoing. I never specified what sort of legal action I would take in the GoFundMe, and pursuing a human rights tribunal case was what was decided because I wanted the police to enact policy changes which a civil court cannot do. I have done absolutely everything by the books. Okay? If that's the case, you know what I'm going to say? If everything's by the books, then show us the books. Show us the accounting. Show us the info. Show us the paper trail. It should be easy, no? It should be very easy to do that. Show the receipts. And then you prove everyone wrong, don't you?
Because he literally had drawn child porn on his computer. I think that's pretty fucking disgusting. On top of the other thing she said about me, which was accusing me of accusing all trans people of being pedophiles, which is not true. What I said is that there is a large amount of trans people in her and in Vaush's community who like to fall back on their trans identity in order to defend disgusting...
I feel like you don't even need to mention that they're trans. You could just say there's a large amount of people in these communities.
Yeah, it's really telling that he felt the need to mention the trans part.
Are they a fuck... Dude, they're going to make me defend BadEmpanada. Are they retarded? No, they're not retarded. They're obfuscating on purpose, right? BadEmpanada is pointing out the correct point that these individuals will fall back on the fact that they're trans in order to defend themselves against reasonable criticism. And that is true and correct. That does happen. Keffals does it all the time. And I see it from fucking the Vaushite retards all the time as well. So it's fundamental that you have to mention the identity vector that they're doing that with, because that's the point, isn't it? That's the point of the statement that you're making.
That, and like he was very clearly being like very loose with like how he was referring to people, because he just like he mentions transness a lot and then he says these people, and it's like I don't know, man, like you should be mad at yourself if that's not what you meant, because that's very clearly what you communicated.
The way that he said that originally.
Yeah.
Chud defending BadEmpanada is so fucking cringe. I've said a bunch of stuff about him at the start. I don't like the guy. He's a fucking nutter. But the point that he's making there is correct. I'm not just going to disagree with someone because I don't like them. Like, I'm always going to say, oh yeah, well, they're correct about this.
being told that Twitter's fucking up again and the image isn't actually showing up on my tweet.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
I don't know why
Yeah,
that
the
keeps
image-
fucking
yeah,
happening.
That's very weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay.
Vaush's pedophilia, which is something that Keffals does. Unlike her, though, I don't have to make fake screenshots because she has outright admitted that she's a
this is
pedophile
stupid.
and a racist
This is
when
obviously
she
a
thinks that
joke.
no one's looking. It's right here in this DM.
I mean, this is obviously retarded. I mean, come on. You can criticize Keffals to the ends of the earth whilst not trying to act like what is clearly a fucking joke is a serious statement of fact. It's like when leftoids soy out about someone being racist as a joke.
100% authentic. She's also talked about how she likes to pretend that the people who
Just weakens
The
your
context
criticism.
behind this is like really stupid because it was Solio deciding to leak the mod signal chat, and I don't even remember the context of why I know.
Who makes jokes about being a pedo? I mean, it's inadvisable. I don't think you should do that. I think you should be very cautious about making those jokes. But I'm not going to look at something that, to me, I'm interpreting as a joke and act like it's not because it's a dunk. I'm just always going to try and be honest about that, right?
I was making a joke in reference to something. I'm pretty sure it was like in reference to people calling me a pedophile. I don't know though.
Well, I think at the time they were also like calling you racist, right? Like that was like the deal. That was like the big deal.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, let's combine these two accusations, right? Because it'd be funny.
Yeah, because 2022, it was all Catboy Ranch libel and then calling me racist.
she has sex with are preteens. So if you want to come at me with clearly faked DMs about me, accusing me of...
Oh, wait a second. Okay, wait, hold on. I think I think someone just putting this out in chat and listening a bit more, I think that's correct. I think BadEmpanada is actually just saying, hey, you're coming in with fake screenshots? Well, you've got real screenshots for saying this. I think that's more the point he's making.
It would probably be pretty good for you if you didn't have real DMs where you outright admit to being a pedophile. Keffals, real name Clara Sorrenti. As I said in that...
Damn.
Got him.
George Janitus really got me there.
Oof, it's Jover.
Included in her video and intentionally mischaracterized. Her entire thing is to just be a disgusting racist, pedophile defender, basically someone who defends the indefensible constantly. And then when you respond to her, she just responds saying, oh, but come on, I'm a marginalized trans person. How can you say that to me? She always tries to make it being about trans...
Yes!
Somehow being about transphobia.
Yes! This is true! This is absolutely true about Keffals.
You're talking about. If she's wrong, if she's doing something heinous, her go-to response is always, well, I'm trans. How dare you say this? How dare you be transphobic? I don't give a fuck.
Or you're being transphobic, or you got that info from KiwiFarms. There you go. There's the two Keffals defenses.
If you're trans. What I care about is that you're defending a pedophile. Vaush, real name Ian Kaczynski, a certified pedophile who sexually
Real name is really
images
important
of
to him.
minors.
It's-
What I'm worried about is
I
that
don't
you have admitted
understand
in
his
real
deal.
DMs, not in fake ones, that you are sexually attracted to children. Keep in mind, her real name is Clara Sorrenti. Just so that you know who to avoid, just so that you know who to keep your kids.
I think what he's trying to do is like the libs of TikTok thing.
Wait, he's trying to be a stochastic terrorist?
I think that's honestly it, yeah. But he's probably not very...
A stochastic terrorist. Bro, are you serious? A stochastic terrorist.
successful at it, but like some of the actual tweets that he made were telling people to go do mass
That's true.
shootings in New York City
That's true.
subway stations. I'm not even
Yeah.
joking.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's what he was saying. Well, I mean, he also wasn't successful at that, so I don't know why he thought he'd be successful at this.
Kids away from. We're not even getting into the fact that she abused...
I mean, listen, I think the kind of like using someone's real name is a bit cringe. I mean, Keffals' name is out there anyway. It's like a known fact. It's not like it's secret information. I just think it's always a kind of way and means with which to kind of... I don't know what the right word for it is. Like, what's the right word to describe it, right? Like, someone online and you're referring to them as their real name as an effort to kind of like freak them out a little bit or something, right? That's the kind of, you know... Intimidate's too strong. I wouldn't say intimidate. That's too strong. You know, you just kind of like, yeah, I know your real name, bitch. You know what I mean? It's a bit like that. It's a bit lame. But yeah, but you're trying to antagonize them. Yeah, it's antagonistic or something. Something like that. Yeah.
her ex. We're not even getting into the fact that she spent at least part of the money, $100,000+ that was donated to her, supposedly for legal fees, not on any sort of legal action, but instead on cocaine. That is who Keffals is, a self-admitted pedophile racist. That's all there is.
That's so true. I'm always saying this. It's a hard job. How do you think I can afford the cocaine?
Gosh.
But seriously, like, what do you say to this shit? It gets so ridiculous, and like, it goes through the rumor mill. Like,
but you see why? You know, I maybe I've gone backwards and forwards on this now, but it could be that BadEmpanada is trying to say this. But regardless, it weakens the criticism because now they can just laugh at the absurdity of this when they've made other very substantive, true claims that there is no backing away from. Like if you went at this and said the cold, hard facts of what's going on, it's kind of undeniable. But you just give room for people to kind of weave around your genuine criticism and focus on the absurdity.
With so many iterations, and it gets like slightly different every time to the point where it's like, I don't even remember where these things originate.
It's like playing telephone, basically. Like every time somebody new touches the story, it like they add shit onto it.
What's to say? Always projection with these people.
Yeah, even his comment. I was looking through his comment section on that, and it's like even his fans are actually kind of pissed at him for this one. Because for whatever reason, some of his fans expect him not to be petty, which is just like, have you like been aware of who BadEmpanada is for the last several years?
Yeah, I've only became aware of him. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I wonder if there's like a disconnect with the people who like watch his video essays and then like tune into his streams for the first time or whatever, because like his video essays are like very thorough, very well researched, which is not to say that they can't also be petty. Like I think his Christopher Columbus one went after Know Nothing a lot in a personal way, but like a lot of people just kind of expect based off of like, oh my god, this is like a really well researched video essay on the history of the term genocide that like really I think reveals a lot about the way that we treat, you know, war crimes and stuff like that. And you're like, okay, cool, that's cool. What's this next video? Oh, he just like hates this person online. What the fuck? What am I doing here? So like maybe that's like some people, because like that's how I first heard about him, was like watching these video essays about him, like debunking this historical thing or talking about, you know, like the history of Shining Path in Peru. Like, oh, that's like an interesting thing. It's been like a long meme in online leftist spaces that like BadEmpanada on Twitter and BadEmpanada, the video essay creator, are completely different people, and you shouldn't treat them like the same people. And now it's like bleeding in that like his deranged Twitter shit is now his video content, and I can see why fans who haven't been tuning in very closely are like, hey, what the hell is this shit? That's crazy. Talk about like the history of the Nakba or whatever. What is this? I don't know.
It's weird. It's like there's such a disconnect in these online leftist spaces where people want to take themselves super seriously and talk about real issues, but they can't help themselves but get dogged down in drama. But it always kind of like pisses
Wait, is this not applied to Keffals as well?
me off in a way, because like they're also not honest about it. Like I'll be honest, I get in the dirt.
Okay.
I really get messy with the drama.
There we go.
I think drama can be really fun.
Fair enough.
It's also incredibly stressful. I'm getting roasted.
They are admitting
alive.
to it, in fairness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's really easy to like get wrapped up in the shit to the point where like it gets like too far. Like, yeah, it's a tough balancing act to cover it in a way that's like fun without getting yourself into a position where you end up getting overwhelmed. It's difficult.
Yeah, no,
I can't speak to that. I'm just a football guy.
Stick to your football. If I can give you any advice, stick to your
Yeah.
football.
Anyway, this is JSTLK. So JSTLK tweeted this out, which obviously I think you guys probably know from the drama previously. Just wait until Muta hears about the bathtub hormones with lolicon packaging from Brazil that Keffals was shilling to minors. Ooh, that's rough. That is fucking rough. Well, just to be clear, because obviously this is a tweet, my understanding of it is that I don't know if it's as direct as that, like Keffals was saying, buy this. I think it was that they were promoting this DIY HRT website, and on this DIY HRT website, you could find, what is it called? Otokonoko Pharmaceuticals or something. And they would sell this. But yeah, it is known. It is obviously, it's been known for a while, I think. But yeah, this was obviously totally fucked. So you've got obviously this this kind of sexualized lolicon image, not naked, but sexualized. And then like, don't look at my giant girl dick. Made with 5G technology. Directions for use. Use 0.18 milliliters every 5 days. Keep away from direct sunlight, heat, and moisture. Keep out of reach of parents. Yeah. Yeah, JSTLK is popping off about this. People keep replying to me with this image. Keffals and crew were helping minors get HRT by sending them to guides and product websites run by degenerate sex freaks who fetishize minor transitioning from male to female. If you're defending this, you need to find God. This is the thing. Like, this is the problem for me with it as well, right? Is these people that are like involved in this at the top end, that are the kind of adult trans that are helping, the things they talk about are like, it's disgusting. They're talking about like cracking eggs. So an egg is trans terminology for an individual who is trans but they don't realize it yet, but they behave in ways that indicate that they're trans, and people that are more experienced and older can pick up on that and can recognize that. And so the idea of cracking an egg is that you engage with someone who's in this state and get them to a point where they recognize they're trans and begin to trans. And so, you know, it's like, okay, so you've got some of these people who like this idea that they're cracking eggs. Like, it's all just very sordid and weird and weird, isn't it? It's all very weird and sordid and nasty. And, you know, just to be clear, I'm not saying that it's all of it, right? I don't know the ins and outs of it directly, but even if there's one case of it happening, you know, I'm very confident that there's at least one instance of this sort of dynamic at play, and that's enough for me to say that it shouldn't be happening, you know? And yeah, it's fucked. And if this gets wider exposure and is discussed, good. You know, especially when we're in the context, like in the UK, for example, it's just been kind of, there's obviously this whole controversy over the Tavistock Clinic and stuff, and this kind of desire to just put people that express transness as a child onto puberty blockers. That's being pushed back against, and people are disagreeing with that. And like more talking therapy is being talked about and considered. So it's like, you know, they're really looking at this in the UK and other places, and it's like they're saying, okay, we just need to be a bit more cautious because we don't want to be in a position where people are going onto pathways where they end up becoming trans and they're not actually trans, and then they've got to detransition. And there's this dynamic where it's like, oh no, look, you can go on the internet and you can avoid all that and circumvent all that, when obviously there's problems with like services and getting the support that you might need in circumstances like that. But then also some of the slowness of that process is intentional, and they're looking to put intentional barriers in place so as to prevent people from making life-changing decisions on their body that they can't go back from. And this is a way to kind of circumvent that, to just get what you want, which, you know, apparently you know that you need to transition. And there you go. And also, it's like, even if that were true, and you did want to try and find a way to get around it because you feel like you're right about this, you're then getting thrown into this group of people who are only going to enable and bolster you, and they're going to have no barriers whatsoever. There's not going to be any brakes on it. You know, I do not imagine that there's people that are going, okay, hold on, stop, this might not be right for you. It is like, you know, 100 miles an hour in that direction. Oh, here's how you find the pharmaceutical products you need. Here's the dosage that you need. I don't care. If that makes me transphobic, then I'm transphobic. I literally do not give two fucks if someone wants to try and call me transphobic. Literally, it's meaningless to me. I literally do not fucking care. I'm transphobic then. Okay. I'm transphobic for saying we should be very cautious about how we deal with minors that are expressing themselves as trans. We should cautiously deal with them, and medical professionals should be involved. I am on Twitch. If Twitch are going to ban me for saying that minors should engage with medical professionals in seeking assistance with gender incongruence, then I'll take that on the chin, because that is not a transphobic position at all. It's not hate speech. It's reckless. You know, minors, people can make reckless decisions that they then go on to regret. It's why you don't let people get a tattoo before they turn 18. Well, I think you can with parental responsibility at maybe a bit of a younger age in some places. You know, we need to make sure that people aren't making decisions that... And it's tough. And there's going to be some people that are probably negatively impacted by that. But, like, yeah, you've got to have an abundance of caution with this stuff. You should push for better healthcare services. Not, I'm going to just circumvent it because I don't like the way that it works. Be a real shame if people started showing Keffals admitting to crimes while she's trending. To all the TERFs who might read this, I've assisted at least a dozen minors get on hormone replacement therapy. Cope and seethe. But yeah. Uh-oh. I don't know. I just look. I'm pretty sure I covered Destiny's Keffals manifesto, and there was a segment that we cut for this exact thing because I was so incensed by it as a parent. You know, it just seems so crazy to me that this was being pushed and justified. So yeah, like I've seen this before. I know, you know, some of the drama around this. And it's just that now it just so happens that a bigger YouTuber is, you know, looking into it now. And so there's going to be fresh, you know, attention and light paid to this. And whilst I do think that a big YouTuber sniffing around you and trying to find stuff can be a bit alarming, I think if you genuinely have got nothing to hide and this is all fine, well, let them say it then. Let them say their piece, because you've got nothing to hide. If it's all above board and it's actually based to do this, well, let people talk about it then, because it's based apparently. Listen, I've got to be honest with you. I did look at some Glinner tweets, and I did shake my head, but there was a couple I was like, "Oh, okay." Listen, he's a fucking nutter who's driven himself into the ground with all this trans stuff, but doesn't mean he's 100% wrong all the time. I'm very woke on trans issues, okay? I'm very woke. I'm not even fucking anti-trans. I just think some of this stuff's fucking nuts. And, you know, the normie perspective is certainly against it. And the bad arguments that I myself... Listen, I'm not innocent. When I was more of a leftoid, I made some really shit arguments about this. I will not deny that. I was definitely wrong about some of the things that I argued. But even the narrative about, well, you need to do what trans kids want or they're going to top themselves is not even a particularly good line of argument or reasoning either. There was a British Medical Journal article that spoke about this, and the basic point they made was that there could be, you know, other factors that contribute to this that aren't just because they're trans. Some of the ways that they gather that are not based on even attempts. They're just based on like ideation, like suicidal ideation. So it's not even a substantive proof that, you know, they're definitely suicidal or necessarily. Like, you need to go and read it. I'm really butchering it, but you know, there's information out there which even these kind of baseline progressive claims that are made go against that. And yeah, I just think it's fundamentally fucked to force people to acquiesce to your demands at the barrel of a gun. You know, do what I want, or I'm... Well, no, the barrel of the gun is not pointed at you. Let's put it that way, okay? Do what I want, or... Well, I think when it comes to the turf stuff, you know, I'm not completely opposed to some of the points that are made by gender critical people. I think there's some reasonable arguments there and should be discussed and hashed out, you know, in public discourse. But the kind of like harsh cruelty, and that's not just one side either. There's multiple sides that do this, but I just think the harsh cruelty is unnecessary sometimes, you know. I'm a bit more of a bleeding heart lefty on the kind of cruelty question. But that's not unique to one side. I would say the same about trans people that are very vicious and aggressive in how they go about things. They also are bad. You know, I think the conversation needs to happen in a, you know, a format where it's not so vicious and brutal, and it seems like an effort is made to kind of just harshly, you know, go after someone. But anyway, listen, that's just me being a softie, okay? I know you guys want to do your fucking harsh criticism, and I think it's allowed to exist. I think you should obviously be excellent to each other, but if you want to be a shitter and say a bunch of slurs, I think you should have a place to do that if you want, you know? I think that's fine. You're within your right to have a place where you just fucking let loose, you know? I sometimes say things in private that I wouldn't necessarily say in public, mainly because of TOS. But you know, I sometimes will say things that are quite mean and vicious, right? I need to be careful when I'm on stream.
That's wonderful. But how do
yeah.
I make money off depressed people?
How about we call them Lalicom loot locators? Or Lalicom leak plugger? It's Lalicom lexicon in the legacy of Lalicom.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the other... Thank you very much for the super chat. This is the other problem too, is like there's so much hypocrisy on this. From everyone. Everyone involved is so hypocritical. Like, they've gone after the lolly shit super hard, and now their shoes on the other foot. I mean, look at this.
Zan drama with lolicons? Dude, Zan has been fucking getting it, dude. Holy shit. Xander Hall came out with a hot take that you probably shouldn't jerk off to drawings of little girls. I know, it's pretty avant-garde, but he had that take anyway. He has just been getting, like, dogpiled by the Twitter lolicon pedo whatevers. I saw this one. This media is hidden because it's from someone you don't follow. Guess this is you. Have some pics, too. Media hidden. Oh no, look at all the CP I'm sending. Clown. So I guess this person's just spamming lolicon porn in Zan's DM. Oh no, look at all the CP I'm sending. And somehow in this guy's mind, he's like...
I mean, like...
It's pretty avant-garde, but Xander Hall came out with a hot take that you probably shouldn't jerk off to drawings of little girls. I know, it's pretty...
Thank you, Vaush. I agree. I agree with you. Shame you didn't follow your own advice. Not gonna lie, it must have been a power... Well, I think what it comes down to is that... Yeah. Isn't... I don't know. It's just... I don't know. What's about... It's called projection. It's projection, right? Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I know people are going to... I mean, I agree that obviously Xander Hall goes hard against the lolly stuff, but doesn't want to speak on the Vaush thing. There's a criticism there somewhere. But I just feel like it would just be unreasonable. Like, I've said, why are these people defending Vaush, right? It's stupid to defend Vaush. Xander Hall has come out and said, I'm not getting involved. He's not defending Vaush. He said he thinks it's bad, the content's bad, but he's not defending Vaush. So it would be kind of crazy for me to be like, oh my God, look, it's like Xander's doing the right thing. He's doing the thing that everyone agrees. It's just to not defend him. So I can't really say much about it, right? The reason I was interested is because I thought he might, you know, do some sort of defense of Vaush. And that would be funny because he's got all these anti-lolicon takes. But instead he's gone, I'm not getting involved, which is the best possible fucking play. It's the correct move. Actual win from Xander Hall on that front. You know, you could say, yeah, he probably should cut him off because he's had a strong take on lolicon before. There's probably something there. But, you know, I feel like I'd be digging a reason to fucking go at him when he's done the correct move, which is to not defend Vaush. Right? I don't know. That's the way I look at it anyway. That's the smart play. Yeah, exactly. Like he can see it's, you know, an indefensible thing that's happened, which it is. Oh my god. What is this? It's on Know Your Meme. Wait. The submission is currently being researched and evaluated. Keffals' Catboy Ranch controversy refers to the behavior of the streamer Keffals and the actions relating to the transitioning of minors before... What the fuck? Year 2022. Yeah, well, just to explain with Kiwifarms, right? Is Kiwifarms will talk shit about you and say mean things about you. The people on there will just shit on you. It's a gossip site. They gossip about shit, right? And some of them will just come up with like theories about you and fucking... Not me personally. I don't think I'm significantly discussed that really. If I pop up in certain dramas, I think I've seen myself mentioned. But normally I don't go on there to look for myself because, I mean, that's just fucking narcissistic behavior. What I tend to do is, like, for example, I was looking for some Mama Max stuff when the Mama Max stuff was happening. So you scroll through, and obviously because I was involved in that in some times, you kind of get referenced, right? Like, for example, someone had shared one of my videos talking about something and they called me a retard. Okay? Like, you know, it's fine. Like, you're going to get shit talked on there, right? You kind of just got to accept that. That's going to happen. You're going to get shit talked. And that happens everywhere. The difference is, on Kiwifarms, obviously, they're quite fast and loose in terms of what you're allowed to say. So if you're like a marginalized individual, it's going to be quite rough. Let's put it that way. But anyway, generally speaking, that's how it goes. Okay, they'll talk about you. They'll gossip about you. They'll say mean things about you. They'll say harsh things about you. And they maybe will dox you if they've got your dox information. Okay? So I'm not trying to act like they're saints and they're like completely pure and they're not doing anything that you know, there's nothing to criticize there. Obviously, okay, there is, right? And the doxing thing is probably the biggest point of contention because it's considered legal speech under the First Amendment, which is why they allow it. Okay? But obviously people have a problem with that because they're, you know, rightly concerned that kind of opens the door to other more egregious behavior and then it makes it accessible. But that being said, you know, I think the focus on Kiwifarms is a mistake. Like, other sites have got more like rules against doxing, so you are more safe on there. But doxing can happen anywhere, really, right? So anyway, I'm not trying to say they're perfect saints. There's obviously things that you can criticize there. But generally speaking, as long as, you know, they'll just talk shit about you, and the worst they'll generally do to you is like dox you, right? That's going to be the most egregious thing that they would do against you, okay? Now, as long as you are not an obnoxious prick about it, generally speaking, that's the kind of worst of it, right? However, there are examples in the past where people have like decided to make it their mission to go against Kiwifarms, and if you do that, they're not going to take kindly to that. And they are going to kind of ramp it up to 11 in terms of the attention that they pay to you. Okay? So it's not as if they're going to start doing anything beyond the realms of what they normally do, but they are going to spend a lot of time and attention focusing on you beyond what you might normally expect. One example of this is someone called Grecian, or Lily Simpson, I think they go by now. Now, they're a trans individual that a few years ago decided to make a video shitting on Kiwifarms with predictable results. So Grecian was kind of talked about a bit and was discussed, I think, in probably the BreadTube thread, and they were just shit on a bit for their kind of cringy, autistic trans ways, okay? Right? But after this video came out, things changed a bit. And they went hell for leather to find and dig up every single possible thing that they could about this person, which I can kind of relate to, okay? I get that. You know, someone comes at you, you want to fucking shit on them. I can kind of relate to that, okay? But they'll just go for anything they possibly can to document you and shit on you further. And then it becomes a vicious cycle where they'll do this and then you respond and they'll do it to you, you know, and so on and so forth, right? And this is essentially what happened with Keffals. is Keffals was obviously discussed and talked about and put on the website, but Keffals decided to go in on this campaign, and they responded in kind. And then, yeah, hence now why the Keffals thread has got like thousands and thousands of pages, is because of that dynamic, right? But it's funny because Keffals did a bunch of drama streams through December. And from what I could tell, even though Kiwifarms would normally be on that sort of thing like white on rice, it didn't really seem like they were that interested or bothered by it. You know, it just seemed like they weren't that interested in it. But now, with all the recent stuff, now it's become, you know, everyone's talking about it again and, you know, whatnot. And the thread's kind of, I think, come a bit more alive again. That's my understanding of it anyway. But I think because Keffals is considered quite a boring person, those drama streams didn't really attract much interest. I think that the one time that there was more interest in it from the Kiwifarm side, because Josh Moon tweeted about this, but it was the fact that Keffals was like acting like a Kiwi farmer, right? Like they had gone after, what's that guy's name? Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. They went after them and revealed that their father was like what? A diplomat involved in drugs in some fashion. And they used it to make this case that Foreign Man in a Foreign Land had to answer for the sins of his father. There was like some Facebook posts shown and things like that. And they had the interview with Chris Chan too. And so I think Josh Moon tweeted out and was like, added Keffals with the registration page for Kiwifarms. And was like, you know, listed what they'd done. The point being, hey, you might, with what you're doing, you might as well join Kiwifarms because you're basically a Kiwi farmer at this point. Anyway, there we go. That's my understanding of it anyway. Let's continue on. Keffals and the action related to drones and miners. The controversy dating back to 2022 with threads on Kiwifarms was later revived through Mutahar and H3H3 after early claims by Kiwifarms were proven to be correct. Who wrote this? Did a Kiwi farmer write this? Oh, uh-oh. Let's have a look. Background. On March 22nd, 2022, the website Kiwifarms had a thread created for Keffals, whose real name is Clara Sorrenti. Okay. Guys, I've got to be careful, okay? No misgenderinio. You can read it, though. You can read it. I'm going to wager that someone with a keen interest in the situation wrote this. Let's put it that way. Isn't it crazy that's on Know Your Meme? Which was created as a result of Keffals' social media posts about fellow streamer Destiny being removed from the platform and taking credit for his ban from Twitch. In the initial thread on Kiwifarms, a post made by Keffals, made on March 12, 2022, is singled out, in which Keffals advertises their Discord server as a place for young trans kids to join, which would later be known as the Catboy Ranch, shown below left. As of February 18th, 2024, the Catboy Ranch Discord server can still be found linked on Keffals' Twitch page, shown below right. Okay, so let's have a look at these.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
I'm now convinced that virtually all woke/progressive people are PDF files and nearly all Democrats are PDF file sympathizers. Prove me wrong.
Thank you very much for the $5. I'm just reminded of, what is that guy's name? Alpha Patri. Right, Alpha Patri did this video talking about that Sophie from Mars person, right? And he was just like, straight up, I'll be using male pronouns in this video. Birth pronouns. It's like, what? But they still called him Sophie. So it's almost like he wanted to recognize, from his perspective, the scientific fact of the matter, but still was respectful to use their name. Anyway, it is. I like that video. Listen. I may be woke, but I like the video nonetheless, okay? As a former trans kid who is now a trans adult, I want to say to you all, the young trans people who follow me, I love you. I care about you. I will fight for you. We will win. There is hope for people like us in this world. They cannot and will not keep us down. If anyone feels lonely and needs people to talk to, the Discord for my community on Twitch is a great place to go. I feel free to join in. We're doing weekly movie nights now. I just fundamentally listen. Okay, I know you guys are gonna have some ideas. You're gonna have some free speech based statements to make about this. Okay, I think that from my perspective, fundamentally, building a community around this sort of thing is just gay and stupid anyway. I just fundamentally disagree that you should build your community around, or if you're feeling sad and lonely, come to my Discord. Not only do we have the, what people are saying in chat right now, which I disavow, we also just have the nature of this, the suspicious nature of it at the very least, and it's just a kind of odd and unusual, and I don't know what the right word for it is. What word am I thinking of? Like, it's like a sad sack way to try and build your community off of shared, you're trying to build your community off of shared suffering. Off of shared trauma bonding. Yeah. It's like it's like an exploitative thing as well. Come and join my community. It's going to benefit me off the back of you suffering. Yeah, I don't like it. I do not like it. Very pitiful, sure. Pathetic. Okay, Jesus Christ. Anyway, come on. If you miss my streams while I'm away, come chill with me in Discord. Also, if anyone sees this who has experience with video editing, I'm currently looking for someone who can help turn stream VODs into YouTube videos so coverage can be uploaded on a regular basis. Okay. And then this is the Twitch page. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. Yeah. Unhealthy is a good way of looking at it. Catboy Ranch is back. Subscribers, as well as paid channel members, will automatically be added to the Catboy Ranch server if the respective account is attached to your Discord account. We have a great community there and would love to have you. Okay. Okay. On June 26, 2022, Keffals created 2 social media posts in which they proclaim their support and direct sponsoring of a website designed around do-it-yourself transitioning with hormones, stating that they want to help kids who are affected by anti-trans extremists. In the series of posts, Keffals details how teenagers in their chat have started the transitioning process because of the streams, and that using the resources on the DIY HRT directory, underage teens... Okay. Who wrote this? Yeah, I think, I don't know the individual that wrote this, but I think, let's just say, I think I've got a good understanding of where the allegiances lie of the person that wrote this post. That being said, they are documenting this. This is a submission on Know Your Meme. I'm just reading the words that are put in front of me because that's what I'm here to do. Okay. Was it you? And that using resource of the DIY HRT directory, underage teens were to start the process in states where it's medically not allowed through an official route. Okay, let's have a look. I'm proud to announce that I'm sponsoring the DIY HRT directory. Healthcare is a human right, and no one should be denied gender-affirming care because anti-trans extremists in office deny trans people their rights. This directory has saved lives and will continue to in the future. So yeah, there's the sponsorship there. Thank you to our amazing sponsor, Keffals. When I was covering it on a stream, a teenager from Texas in chat said when the ban on people under 18 receiving gender-affirming care happened, he used this directory to continue medical transition. This is the path forward to help kids affected by these laws. Yeah, I don't personally agree with that. I don't think that's the best pathway. Yeah, I feel like throwing these people who are obviously suffering, struggling in one way or another, into the hands of internet weirdos on the online is the best play. Let's put it that way. Oh, okay, anyway. Now let's get on to this. Following a supposed doxing that reportedly took place on August 5th, 2022, Keffals blamed the thread on Kiwi Farms as the main cause and began the Drop Kiwi Farms campaign. At the same time as posting to have the website dropped from Cloudflare's protection, Keffals made 2 social media posts. In which they explicitly post the information of Kiwi Farms owner Josh Moon and his mother, claiming that she was fired for a connection to the site and posting her mugshot from a prior incident, adding to the controversy. And from what I understand, I mean, if Josh Moon's mother had an account on the website, who fucking cares? But secondly, I don't even think that was the correct account. I think it was, I mean, you know, the idea that, like, they would be posting under their real name when they're the mother of the owner seems absolutely retarded. But anyway, there we go. Joshua Moon's mother, Candice Lynn Porter, was fired from her job in 2018 for having an account of her son's hate forum Kiwi Farms. What a cute family. Surely his mother will not lose her job because of his son's heinous actions and have to leave the internet. See, this is like just the aggression. The aggression with which you're going at this is your undoing. You know, it feels like what? Why? I appreciate. Look, Keffals has got reason to be bothered by some of the stuff that's being said about them, sure. But this level of aggression to go in the other direction just seems like a mistake, and it just feels like you're queuing yourself up for more pain, which is what's happened, right? Like, we've obviously got years of this shit now. But anyway, there's an entire fucking history here which you can go and look at. But yeah. Just seems like a really stupid move to kind of go this hard on it. I mean, that's an understatement. It's completely unhinged to go after a guy's family because he rightfully criticised you. But the problem, I guess the issue is that, like, Kiwi Farms has got a lot of harsh statements about Keffals' family. Do you know what I mean? I obviously think it's wrong to bring the family into it. I think that's totally fucked. But then the same applies, you know, in the other direction too. Josh isn't those Kiwi Farms users. Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I just think, you know, moral frogging about going after family members, it's like, well, you've got to do the same in the other direction too. Like, if you want to be critical of this, sure, be critical of this. But then you'd also have to be critical, if not Josh Moon's words on this, then the users that are saying it, right? Do you see what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I mean, my perception, I just think leave the family out of it. You know, don't bring the family into it at all. Unless they involve themselves, don't bring the family into it and leave it at that, right? So yeah, that would apply to anyone that's doing that. But yeah, that being said, I mean, I do obviously have a big problem with this. This is fucking nuts, sure. But I think even beyond just my own personal view on this, it's also just the sort of the pragmatism aspect. You're just asking for more trouble by going after the site's owner's mother. You know, you're just making a rod for your own back, essentially. But yeah, sure, I agree. This is fucked. Renewed interest. Right, following the DropKiwifarms campaign, the situation over Catboy Ranch cooled, with little new info coming out and making waves. As part of the Vaush opens porn folder controversy, which led to many people denouncing Vaush for having images depicting lolicon and similar, Keffals made statements and videos defending Vaush, which put them back into the spotlight. In a series of back and forth videos between Keffals and H3, the topic of grooming came up, with H3 subreddit then starting to dig into the history and make noise about the Catboy Ranch shown below. On February 17, 2024, Muta released a series of posts on X, which did a quick recap of Keffals before declaring that he was soon to release a video going more into detail about the Catboy Ranch and what he found after doing an investigation into everything from the years prior, reigniting the debate on Keffals and bringing it back into the mainstream shown below. So yeah, there we go. There we go.